Hey everyone, welcome back to Mimi Made It by Ladia. Today I'm showing you how to create an elegant double-sided Christmas door hanger. Perfect if you want that designer look without the designer price. We're going to use classic red and gold, timeless, festive, and full of Christmas charm. So grab your ribbon because the first thing we're going to do is measure and cut our ribbon. I measured my ribbon so that it will drop 30 inches on both sides of the door, and then I added an additional 2 inches to allow for the width of my door. So I'm cutting this 4-inch ribbon at 62 inches to start. Also, take a quick moment and drape it over your door just to make sure it falls exactly where you want it to. Now I've folded the ribbon in half and I'm just using a paper clip to mark that center point so that everything will stay nice and straight, and then I am ready to move on to the next step. For my bow, I'm using a 2.5-inch wide ribbon, the red crushed velvet on one side and the gold lame on the other side. It's going to create a timeless bow for this project. Next, I'm cutting ribbon 2 pieces at 12 inches each and then one longer piece at 18 inches. I'm going to use these so that I can add additional streamers to my bow. I'm going to fold them in half and then I'll place them down in the bow maker. And feel free to use a bow maker. I'm using one for this because the ribbon on here is quite thick and I want to make sure that I have my loops as close to size as possible. So using the bow maker to hold the ribbon as well as helping me to manipulate it is a good idea for this particular situation. And so now I'm going to go in and start layering and looping the material to make the bow. And I could have just brought a bow from the store, but for me, where's the fun in that? I enjoy making my own bows. It's all part of customizing my decor for the holidays to get it just the way I want it to go with everything else for a very cohesive look. So I say to you that if purchasing a bow works better for you, by all means do that. But if you are like me and you like to make your own bows, then that I think is the way to go as well. It is just really up to you and your own personal preference as to how you want your bow to look on your banner. As I'm making my bow, I am also alternating between the red on one side and the gold lame on the other side. I am doing a total of 8 loops, 4 on each side, and that is just going to help to keep this well balanced and well styled with the red and the gold on the bow. I'd like to take a quick moment and say welcome to my new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me. And to my returning subscribers, always love to see you once again. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. And if you are enjoying this video, please give me a nice big thumbs up. It means a lot to my channel. And again, I want to just take a moment and say thank you so much for helping me to grow my channel. To secure my bow, I like to use zip ties because I can get it very, very tight. You could also use wire or you could also use a pipe cleaner, but for me, I prefer to use a zip tie. And you can just really see how thick the material is in there with this bow. So a zip tie is going to be the perfect choice for what I'm doing here. And once I remove it from the bow maker, I'll tighten it up a lot more, and then I'll go ahead and clip that off, and then it's time to get started with all of the fluffing. Now for me, fluffing my bow is a never-ending thing. I fluff in the beginning, I fluff in the middle, I fluff in the end. To me, it's kind of like making sure that my hair is in the right place before I leave out the door. I generally call it my last looks, but I do my last looks all through my bow making process. And so with this wired ribbon, this is where you can just really manipulate your bow, pull your ribbons and fluff and adjust as you go along. Now, since I'm using the alternating red and gold, I want to make sure that I have the exact number on each side and that they are alternating in the way that they look on the bow. Now I'm going to cut my 2.5-inch ribbon in a dovetail at the end, give it a nice clean polished look, and then I will be ready to go to the next part of this step. And what I'm going to do is just take a small piece of ribbon and I'm going to glue that on one side and turn it in, and glue the other side and then turn that in as well. And I'm going to use that piece to cover up the middle of the bow, and that's just so that you don't see the zip tie that I have. And to me, again, it's also going to give it a much more polished and custom look to the bow. Now this is a very quick step here, and we're just going to attach the bow to the ribbon. And I did mark that with a paper clip on each side so that I could have my marker there to have everything in place and match up. And you're going to use plenty of hot glue on this part of the project because you want to make sure that it stays in place. Give it a moment and let it dry thoroughly before moving on to the next step. And that way you'll have everything in place and nothing is going to move. And so I'm taking this time before it actually dries to again manipulate my streamers that I have on there. And then I'm just going to hold it in place just for a brief moment and let it dry. And then we'll be ready to move on to the next step. Now comes the fun part, and that's the decorating. I'm using a red poinsettia as my focal flower, and I'm going to put that right on top of the bow. And I'm going to use plenty of hot glue and hold that in there for a moment and let that dry, let that adhere before I start layering in some of my picks. I've got some greenery that I'm going to use, some holly berry. And then I also have some gold eucalyptus that I'm using at the top and the bottom to make sure that everything is in symmetry, so to speak. These are going to end up being sisters, not twins. They're going to look alike in color and design and in placement of all of the embellishments with the picks. And so I've kind of put them side by side so that I can make sure that I am following along with my own design as much as possible. Even though they'll be on either side of the door, you still want them to look as cohesive as possible. Now once everything is in place and the glue is dry, it's time to hang it up. You just simply drape your ribbon over the door, one side facing inside, outside on the other, and the tails will fall naturally. The beauty of this project is that it's double-sided, so you get the festive cheer both inside and outside of your home. You could also use this to decorate some of your doors on the inside. This would make a wonderful addition to a guest room or to a guest bathroom. Well, let me know what you think. Leave me a comment. What colors will you use? Will you try this? I think it's pretty easy, and I think once you get started, you'll think it's easy as well. Please subscribe to my channel for more of my holiday DIYs. And as always, whatever you do and wherever you go, Be blessed.